Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed. Fourth quarter heat over 2 minute
Don't
drill.
freaking
If you
drive.
can't
Hey,
handle
man.
truth,
Call
better
your
chill
mother.
with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
Well, the closest thing to perfection, what does that make you?
Stats don't lie, we
Now
just
you're
let
more
us build. This is real talk sports. Welcome to Fluent and chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
Just invited my boy Tony Tone.
I invited you.
You invited me. Hold on.
Did you invite me?
I did. I just invited you.
I don't know how that works. We're doing something new. For those of you that are here every single week on Fluent and Chill, you know that we also do a little hip hop, a little TikTok, a hip hop too. Let's be honest. And I am trying, because where we don't have, which is why if you see me on this screen on YouTube looking this way, it's because this is where my TikTok camera is, and I don't just want them to see my horrible side profile. But I'll try to read comments that we're getting in TikTok at the same time, because right now we're live on Sports Fluent YouTube, we're live on Chilltown Hoops YouTube, we're live on Sports Fluent X, aka Twitter, and we're live on Sports Fluent TikTok and Chilltown Hoops TikTok. But see, let me try inviting you again.
Yes, sir. Let's see if I can get invited by my man Tony Tone.
It says you're invited. You just need to say yes.
Hold on. Let me see where I'm at, because I'm looking here, and no, I don't have an invite from my boy Tony Tone. Just like it says you're invited.
It says,
but
oh, that's interesting.
It says you're invited.
Co-host. How about that?
Okay, let's see.
There
it is.
Let's go.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
I just turned it down. So
Perfect.
Now we hot.
Now we actually can do our thing.
Okay.
Sorry, TikTok, you're not going to see the graphics, but I'll describe them to you. But first, because we got a lot to talk about. Let's be very, very clear. The 96 Bulls, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Twitter trolls, because as you know, I fell into it again. With the dummies. Now, here's the thing. I invited 2 people to show up and debate tonight, and both said, I'll be there. I'm going to cook you. And so we're going to see if they're going to
show up. If they actually show up.
They're going to show up and cook me. Listen, I don't listen. If you know more, let's be very, very clear about something. One person has ever asked me, hey, you posted this. What are your thoughts on that? Like, you're defending this thing. How do you feel about that? They've never asked. It's always, if you defend the 90s, you're unk, and you don't know today's hoops, you don't watch basketball anymore, you don't appreciate today's game. Who loves today's game more than me?
Probably me.
Really? All the threes and all that? You love that more than me?
No, you love the 3-ball. You 100% love the 3-ball more than me. Yes, you do. That is a fact. That is not my opinion. That is a fact.
This is the era I've been waiting for 40 years.
Yes, you love the long ball.
You know, if you remember, there was a debate a few years ago on Player's Choice, and it was like, which is your favorite era? I chose this one. I defended this one. Now, that doesn't mean that I hate the old one. It just means that I appreciate all of them. So I fell into that conversation where the guy had said, here, let me see if I can, I might have it handy. And then we're like I said, we're getting into a lot of stuff. Let me see if it's, I think it's this one. Let's, you know, my eyes aren't what they used to be. So, oh yes, here. So okay, this was him saying, buddy, I started the debate and took 6, and here's my invite, so you can prove that I invited him. But that's not the one I wanted to show you. I want to show how this all kind of got started. So there was a video posted by, I don't know, one of the LeBron faithful, and it was a video of Bulls versus Cavs. And it said, look at this 90s defense, how terrible it was. And it was basically the Cavs were playing, they packed in, and the Bulls were just going basically around the 3-point line looking, but no one was driving, and it was just like
Right.
him outside, kind of a quasi zone a little bit, to be honest, but because there's a lot of switching. That being said, I said, first of all, let's be very clear. I corrected the person who posted it, and I said that wasn't the 90s, nor was it the 90s defense. The latest it could have been was 89-90, because
So still in the 80s, not in the 90s yet.
when it's the 89-90 season, I don't think you could call that the tough 90s defense, right? And I said, first of all, that game was probably played in 88-89. The furthest it could have been, because number 22, I believe, I forget his first name, Jim maybe, something, Charles, was still playing on the Bulls. And his final season on the Bulls team, number 22, he was a bench player, right? But last season on the Bulls was 89-90. So I know that's the absolute latest it could have been, but I was pretty sure the game was from 88. And I said, while I disagree with the narrative about the 90s defense being, this super tough, can't be beat defense, while I disagree with the narrative, it should be mentioned for those that don't know, not every play, right? Not every team was tough in the 90s, but this clip could be used to say, look at how scared the Bulls are to drive the lane and get smoked.
Right.
Okay, so that's that. I said you could make that argument. And then I said, and then I continue. I know it's just show more, but I'll tell you what I said, and you can go find it if you don't, if you want to read it all. But basically, I say my point is anyone can take one clip of 15 seconds and create a narrative about any. Like I could show 15 seconds of today's NBA missing a three. Like we have 3 minutes, I think, of Raptors. I think Wizards from last season. They went like 6 minutes where they went over, and they were all 3-point shots, and they're just going back and forth. And say, oh, look how horrible today's game is. It sucks. And I can build a whole narrative on that. So my point on this was to say, I disagree with the 90s being the toughest, roughest, toughest defense, and everybody was getting clothesline. I disagree with that because by the 90s, as you know, they were putting rules in place because of the TV deals to get that out of the game anyways.
Right.
So I said, so I disagree with the narrative, but if you're going to show a 10-second clip, you can prove whatever you want. He then goes in and says, well, then the retort would be, why didn't they take a wide open three? And I say, well, they didn't take wide open threes because it was considered a bad shot back then. The coaches would get mad because they were like, especially like 88, they were shooting 30% from three when they were getting, 60% on interior, like
and teams were shooting like 2 or 3 a game. Teams, not guys. But
I think by then it was about 7. But yes, to your point, the numbers were so low. And I said the coaches wouldn't let them shoot threes. They didn't have advanced analytics. They didn't have all this stuff to say the efficiency of shooting 3 of 10 is better than shooting 4 of 10 from 2. Like they just didn't have all that stuff. They didn't believe in it. So I said they had players who were shooting 40% from 3. They didn't get them more shots because, they didn't believe in it. So this guy's apparently gonna come on at 9:30 and tell me why I'm wrong, and that if they had an open shot, they should have taken the open shot. And the best play is the best play because he believes he knows that he knows better than what actually happened. And then the other guy, this one you're gonna like. He's gonna come on and he wants me to convince him why Tracy McGrady isn't a Hall of Famer. So I know you disagree with
is not a Hall of Famer.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Interesting.
So we'll still have that conversation.
Well, per basketballreference.com in 1989, which was the same year that the Detroit Pistons won the NBA championship, they averaged 5 threes a game.
Oh, there you go.
5. Okay. That's basically 1 a quarter.
The league at 7? Was I right or was I close?
The league average, yes, was about it was 6.5. So if you averaging out 6.6, so we averaging out to about 7. And the Lakers, who they played in the NBA championship, were shooting 8. That includes Byron Scott. That includes Michael Cooper was still on the team at that point, right? Magic was still shooting threes, but I mean, it wasn't nearly what it is today. I mean, the Laker team in 87, which, if we're being honest, that Laker team in 87, which I think is arguably the best team that they ever had, I think they were averaging like 2 threes a game, something like that, or 3 threes a game for the most part. The game was a big man game, right? So, yes, the game has evolved today, way further than what it was. The game has evolved today way further than what it was back in 1987, where the game was played through the big man. Now, does that mean that because the game is different today, does that mean it's just much better? I'm not saying it's not better, but I'm not saying it's better, but I'm not saying it's worse neither, right? I love the fact that guys like Steph Curry have evolved the game. Now, what Steph Curry has done is he's tricked everybody into thinking that all of you guys can play like that, when in reality, all of you guys can't play like that. No, not all of you guys can do that. It's very much like what Jordan did to us in the 80s. Michael Jordan had us thinking that we all could fly. Nah, we can't all do that. No. But he had us thinking that we could do that. Now, with that being said, I don't think that the game is any less. I don't think it's worse today, but I don't think it's I'm not going to say that the game in the 80s is just completely garbage, because I mean, I think that was a great era of basketball. A great era of basketball.
You appreciate each one for what it was, right? The 80s
Absolutely.
brought a lot of stuff. Like there were teams that would slow it down, go into post, but there was teams like my Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, which do we have the play that we have today if it wasn't for the Showtime Lakers playing that way and winning, right? Because you got to win. You can play certain styles, but if you don't win, no one tries to copy it, right?
The Denver Nuggets
would we have 6'9"? The Denver Nuggets, yeah. Would we have 6'9"?
They were playing ridiculous guys in 91.
6'9", 6'10" guys running the point?
No, we wouldn't.
Right? So there's a lot. The 90s, again, something about the 90s, you know, where it was like one dominant star, let's be honest, and a one dominant team, and everybody just trying to dethrone them. And as much as people say they hate that, when baseball had the Yankees winning a lot and they were the evil empire, everybody loved that. They either loved them or they loved to hate them. Those things are basketball.
First and foremost, Tone, they say all the time that they hate dynasties. No, you don't. That's when you watch the most. When the Bulls went on their run, them first 3 years to win the NBA championship, 3 straight years, you watch the most. When they went on that run again, to win it again 3 straight years, 95, 96, which we're going to talk about, 96, 97, you watched. When the Lakers went on that three-peat, you watched. You care about that stuff. To say that you don't care about that is just a complete and utter false statement, because that's the time that you care about it the most. Because either you love dominance, which I do, I love to see teams dominant, or you want to see them lose, which would explain why. Which would explain why the finals, the viewership was what it was when James was in it, because you were either there because you loved him or you wanted to see him lose. That was it.
100% agree with you. I did something with my stand and my phone's starting to fall over, so I apologize for the people on TikTok having to see that. I do want to address this because I needed a little therapy. And if you wouldn't mind being my therapist,
where's my pen, my pad, so I could get my man over here, so I can get him on the couch, right? so I can get my man on the couch. Hold on, let me write down some stuff. Let me write down some stuff and get my pen and my pad. Dr. Womack over here.
Dr. Womack.
Dr. Chill over here.
I got a problem, Dr. Chill.
Okay, sir. What's going on with you? I got my pad right here. E-Dog says, hey, it's okay to let you have some LA Dodgers in the background. Just don't get caught. I don't want you to be put out. LOL. I don't know if he's understanding that I'm a Dodgers fan living in Toronto, and I had to cheer for the Jays as well, or else I would have gotten thrown out of the house. Yes, so here's where I need a little bit of therapy. This is like your two children fighting. And I think you only have one, so you might not be able to understand it the way I do. Right.
With twins, I get this part. I was rooting for both, and I'll be honest with you. Even though I was happy that the team that I've been rooting for 40 plus years won, it was back to back. And I was like, well, we had it last year. My home team, they were so heartbroken. The way that they lost Game 7, 11th inning, right? Runners on the corner. There were some controversial calls throughout the last series. They had a few chances to win. And the emotion, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. sitting there crying for an hour, wouldn't leave the bench. I got to tell you, man, listen, I'm a man's man, but that was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to watch them because the group had been so tight this year. Like they literally thought, like, I have 26 best friends. Like they said that all year round, and you could see that they weren't faking it. So to lose in that dramatic fashion, Mrs. Fluent still isn't over it. She's still not over it.
Oh boy.
She's heartbroken.
Oh man, that's not
And
good.
so I'm like, I'm happy and I'm miserable. Does that make like
At the same time? Yes.
I'm struggling.
Well, because you got an alliance, Tony. You got an alliance to your family, but you also have an alliance to your sports team, which
Emma
a
City,
lot of people
Emma City, you know, I'm
absolutely. You got an alliance to your family. You live in Toronto, but you also got an alliance to your sports team. So it's very much a house divided. Now, what I don't want is I don't want my house to be undivided. I don't want my house to be a house of horror. No, I don't want that. But also on the flip side to that, Tone, we also live in the world of competition, and it's the agony of defeat, man. I mean, I think that kids in particular have to respect that. It broke my heart to watch Isaiah Thomas turn the ball over against the Boston Celtics and Bird to steal a ball, because I wanted them to beat the Celtics. I did. And I can't believe that I was really rooting for the bad boys, because I couldn't stand them dudes. But I wanted them to beat the Celtics. I wanted them to beat the Celtics more than
I'm with you. I'm a Laker fan. I want everyone to beat the Celtics.
I wanted them to beat the set, and I just was not. I did not want to see the Celtics do it, and I was not a Bad Boys fan. And when Isaiah turned the ball over, I was heartbroken over that. Like, damn. But then to your point, I was living in the same house with my mother had a thing for Isaiah Thomas. She liked Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, so I was kind of torn. Where should I be rooting for Isaiah Thomas? No, I don't want to root for Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, do I root for Isaiah Thomas? I don't want to root for Isaiah Thomas. My father, he also dug Isaiah Thomas. I really didn't like them dudes at all, but
in a different way.
I just hated Larry Bird more. So I understand what exactly it is that you're dealing with here. So it could get a little tricky, Tone. Yes, it can. It could 100% get tricky.
So you understand where I'm coming from. So you understand.
I do. I understand where you're coming from. Here's the $1 million question, though. The $1 million question is how do we remedy? How do we remedy this? Okay, because I got, on one hand, I got the children who have experienced the agony of defeat. But I got my father over here. He's a Dodgers fan, but he wants the best interest. He's got my best interest in terms of my kids at his disposal. Okay, so how do we remedy these? Okay, you got to tell the kids, yo, this is part of winning. This is part of winning. Losing, that's part of it.
Yeah,
part of winning is losing. So that's the best way I can describe it. Winning is part of losing. Unfortunately, there is no guarantee that you're in order to win, you got to learn how to lose. And I think that once they learn that, they'll recognize that, at some point, we're going to get there. And we will get there. So for those of you guys that's in my TikTok right now, my TikTok live, just so you know, you could come over to YouTube. You could come over to Chilltown Hoops on YouTube. You could come over to Sports Fluent on YouTube. This is where we are. We're doing it live. So we're testing something out tonight, and we're seeing how it goes.
And let me say to one of my TikTok users, Nicola, who's like, wow, Fluent back live on TikTok. I believe it has been 2 years since I have actually done a live on TikTok.
We used to do this every Monday night, me and Tone.
I know. That's why it's so crazy. It's been 2 years. So listen, we're gonna do a little one football story.
Yep.
I will start doing it again. You got it. One football story, and then the next hour will be all basketball, and obviously we're going to talk about the '96 Bulls and some more stuff. That being said, Sauce Gardner of the New York Jets being traded to the Indianapolis Colts, I believe, for 2 first-round picks. I want your take on this first, because I believe mine might be very different than yours, but what are your thoughts about this move?
It seems like it's a fire sale, and what's going on with the Jets, they're not going to be very good. I think that they're wasting Sauce for what he really is, who is one of the better cover corners in the game, and they didn't stop with him. They also moved off their defensive tackle also, and I think that it's just going to continue with this team. I think that they're starting over. I think Sauce moving to Indianapolis, which I've always been a big Daniel Jones fan, a Danny Dimes fan, and I know that you ain't feeling this, Tone, but just so you know, Danny Dimes is not a self-proclaimed name. No, it is not. And the fact that this season that he's got a solid running game in Jonathan Taylor, he's showing that. So to add now a cover corner in Sauce Gardner, I think this really helps them. Really helps them. And I think the Jets, they get the draft picks that they're looking for, and I think that they get to build that unit back up again, because what they were doing clearly wasn't working. Obviously, it wasn't.
If the Jets were to trade away their best players every time they weren't good, they'd be having fire sales every single year.
Oh, boy.
The Jets are a terrible franchise. The Jets are the Charlotte Hornets of the NFL.
Yikes.
The Jets shouldn't listen. They don't deserve anything nice. So they should be trading all these guys away. That being said, I think two things about the Colts. One, fool's gold with Danny No Dimes. Two first-round picks are going to come and bite them in the you-know-what because they think they're a win-now team. They had a hot first half. Incredible start to the season. This Sunday that just passed, that's the team that you're going to get the rest of the season.
Oh, so you think that they took advantage of a
If
soft schedule?
If they win more than 10 games this season, I'll be shocked.
So if I'm looking at their schedule, Tone, this is what I'm looking at from right now. Okay, so they just lost to Pittsburgh. They got Atlanta this week, this next Monday night. I think they're going to beat Atlanta. They got to go to Kansas City. I think that they'll lose that game. They're going to beat Houston.
They'll beat Houston.
At Jacksonville, that's going to be a tough one.
Jacoby Myers is going off 200 yards receiving on that game. Go ahead.
He just got down there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. By then he'll be ready.
He just got down there. Yeah. At Seattle, I think that they could beat them.
That's L.
Right. We got to go to Indianapolis. They play the 49ers. We've been rolling, by the way. At Jacksonville, I think that they're going to split, and then at Houston, which they're going to beat them. So these next 7 games.
There you go. There's 2 wins in there. That's 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of these 8 games, you think they're going to lose 6 of these 8 games? Tone, their pass rush actually
5 or 6. 5 or 6. That'll give them 9-10 wins.
I think they're going to beat Atlanta. I think they're going to lose to Kansas City. I think they're going to beat Houston. I think they're going to split with Jacksonville. I think they go to Seattle and they beat them. I do. I think they go to Seattle and they beat them. I'm not buying Seattle and Sam Darnold. I'm not. I'm not buying Seattle and Sam Darnold. I think they win 11 games this year, Tone, maybe 12.
Apollo, this is our one and only football topic. That's why we're talking about football. That being said, so if you even think 11, then we're not in that much of a disagreement because I said no more than 10. So there's a difference of 1 game.
Hey, yo.
11 wins the division, Tone. I don't think 13 wins in that division or 12 wins in that division is going to win the division. Because if you think about the AFC South, they're already in first place at 7-2. 4 more wins, which I already told you, of those 8 games, 4 more of those wins the division. Tennessee is garbage, and they don't have to play Tennessee anymore.
Listen, I'm not saying I didn't say they wouldn't win the division. All I'm saying is this team that started out 7-1, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, the Colts! Oh, they're going to so amazing this year." And Danny Dimes, he's back. First round exit, first round loss.
Bounce. You think they're getting bounced in round 1?
Bounced, and they're going to be a 500 team at best in the second half of the season, and it's be like, what happened to this Colts team? We've seen it before. We've seen teams come out hot, and then they're just it's fool's gold. And
so if the season ended today, so if the season ended today, Tone, right? So they get them and the Patriots both get first round buys. So they would have to play the winner between Denver and the Chargers, because they're gonna end up playing the lowest seed, but because Denver plays the Chargers, which is the 6th seed, and Pittsburgh plays Buffalo. So they're gonna whoever the lowest seed is. So if the Chargers beat Denver, they would have to play the Chargers. And if Buffalo beats Pittsburgh, both of those teams could beat Indianapolis, because we just saw Pittsburgh just beat Indianapolis, exactly. Right?
That's my point.
The Chargers. I think they could beat the Chargers, even though the game's in the dome. I think they could beat Indianapolis.
Of course, it's football. Any team can beat another team. I just don't think they will. And I'm not. Look, Tyler, man. I hate this. So like, stop hating on the. I'm not hating. I'm telling you based on what I'm seeing from this team.
Yep.
Based on historical data, based on what I saw this week in 50 years of watching football, I'm telling you, I think this team. Oh, we lost you, just so you know. We lost Chill. He'll be back. He's still on TikTok, so I don't know what the hell he was clicking around.
No fault.
You clicking stuff. I said we lost him. I saw you were still on TikTok, so that was good. I'm just saying. What I see. Look, listen. Am I right 100% of the time? No. Am I right more than I'm wrong? Yes. Right. And so, I
think Indianapolis is better than you giving them credit for, Tone. I think Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the league. I got roasted for saying that. I think he's better than Saquon Barkley. I think he's a better runner than Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey might be a better all-around running back, but I think he's a better runner than Christian McCaffrey. He's always been he was an awesome running back when he was in college, led the Big Ten in rushing, comes to the NFL, leads the NFL in rushing again. So it's no coincidence that he's definitely an all-purpose back, but more of a ball carrier than he is an all-purpose back. And I think he's the best runner in the game.
Well, we're gonna transition from that into this.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, thanks for the likes. And this isn't one of our topics, but it's interesting because I know how you feel about one of these guys. Mm-hmm. So will I be disrespectful? Would it be, I'm assuming, will I be disrespectful to say I'm more impressed with the 76ers backcourt than the Lakers backcourt? Because that kid VJ and Maxey, scary.
They don't look scary to me. They look promising. I don't like. I'm in the minority. I don't like to use the word scary because scary means, oh my God. No, I love this. I'm so here for this. I like the Luka and Austin Reeves combination, and I think that we're playing off of. I always thought that, and you and me had this conversation, Tone. I always thought that Austin Reeves would benefit playing off of Luka because of Luka's ability to score. That's going to open up the pass even more. And I thought that he would benefit from doing that. With both Maxey and VJ, I think you got two of the most athletic guards in the game. This might be the most athletic backcourt in the league. When I think about the rest of the teams in the league, this might be the most athletic backcourt in the league, which would explain why I'm ready to move off of Joel Embiid. I am so comfortable moving off of Joel Embiid. I was ready to move off of Joel Embiid like last season, but I'm definitely comfortable moving off of him now because I'm down to build my unit around these two kids. So to answer your question, would it be disrespectful that they're better? I'm not going to say I won't say better, but what I will say is I think that they're more dynamic just from the athleticism. I think the bucket getting, there's going to be more to be desired. That's off the strength that VJ is a rook. So I mean, his ability to score is just going to get better. So it's not there yet. But in terms of an athlete, you're going to get some highlights. You're 100% going to get some highlights from both of these guys. No doubt.
Yeah, listen, I would say you could say you're more surprised that Maxey and VJ because they're younger and like you maybe the expectation wasn't there for them to be so like to get to click so quick. In terms of the Joel Embiid, I told you before last season even started. At the season before is when there was still value. That's when they needed. Actually, right after his MVP is when they should have traded him. Because I told you last year they were going to suck and he was going to be insignificant, which he was. What'd you lose?
This dude Bo Nix is in my chat telling me that Ja just got traded to Minnesota. I don't like stuff like this. If you're being honest, be honest. Don't come in here with the bullshit.
Let's get
don't come in here bullshitting. If you want to be noticed, I'll shout you out, Bo Nix. But don't tell me that he got traded to Minnesota and you just want to be noticed. So
well, we'll see. Or what are you looking for?
I want to get to the bottom.
Just left the room. Yay, yes. Listen, we have the best chat in the business. Between TikTok, it's not real. See, it's between TikTok and and YouTube, we
Yeah.
let the chat. He's lying. See, there you go. No, there you go. It's easy. It's easy.
I'll get to the bottom of that.
Although you know what, that's an interesting segue into our next topic, because the next topic was going to be our guy, Ja Morant, the guy that, like, what, 3 years ago, before all the guns and stuff, like, and when he was playing every day, not to say that the guns had no effect on me either way, but my point was, that was one of the guys I said, look, I won't pay to watch money. I don't pay to watch money. I don't pay money to watch a lot of players. He's one that I would, right? That I would spend my money on. He's gonna get traded. He's gonna get traded, right? He said he's lost the passion. Who was it that said it last year, I think, and then immediately got traded after? Like, he gets
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. There you go.
Buckets.
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets. So I think it's the same thing. Like, his time has come and gone in Memphis. It's too bad it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's probably best for both that they just, when you're having to suspend guys for, actions detrimental to the team, it's probably time for them to go, and that's okay. Like, it's not like everyone, you don't have to be on the same team forever. Like, I get why people say, like, oh, these, I like these lifelong players and blah blah blah, and I get that to a certain extent, but also not everybody's just meant to be on the same team forever, and that's okay.
I had a conversation earlier today. Not today, I'm sorry. On the panel, we have this segment called Hot Takes. And I said that I wouldn't bring it up again, but this was, I think, a week ago. And here I am bringing it up, right? Because this is a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, Tone. We had this Hot Take segment where, Tone, you give me your hot take this season. It's not something that's happening, but it's not ridiculous that it'll happen. And I said 2 weeks ago, I don't think Ja's going to be on this crew before the season's over. I think he's going to be out of there. And I felt like Ja's game has just gone the other way. Now, don't get me wrong. When the offense changed,
he's not the same guy? Like, are you saying he can't be that guy anymore, or just not that guy in Memphis anymore?
Well, with the injuries, the change in the offense, and him being in and out of the lineup, it's been so inconsistent, right? It's been so inconsistent with him that he doesn't look nearly like he did when he was in the conversation for league MVP job. He doesn't look nearly like that, right? So he's still they're one of the I think they're at the bottom of the league in pick and roll offense. I think Ja's actually really good in pick and roll, but his jump shot has seemed to have abandoned him. He's not nearly the jump shooter that he used to be. He doesn't play above the rim nearly as much as he used to, as he does today. He doesn't attack the rim like he used to. He's not the dynamic player. They are, and I'm on record saying this, Tone, and I think you remember me saying this, but I said a while ago, OKC is what Memphis was supposed to be when they had Dylan Brooks, Ja, Jaren Jackson.
Yes. You've said that a couple of times. Yes.
I think that they are. So now what we've done, we've already moved off of Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks. So half this group is gone. We barely made the playoffs last year and got smoked. The offense is changing. I think Ja's jump shot has regressed. Not only has Ja's jump shot regressed, but I think that his game, I don't think that it's conducive to what they're trying to do anymore in Memphis. And I do think that time is running out. I would not be surprised if he was out of there before the trade deadline. They can't trade him until December 15th.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I was going to say,
yeah, they can't trade him until December the 15th. That's why when Bo Nix Muse came in here with that nonsense, I'm like, wait a minute, they can't trade. The season just started a week ago. Guys can't get traded yet. Like, once the season starts, you can't get traded until December 15th.
Hold on a minute. No. Where is he in his contract? Unless he just re-signed recently or like re-upped, I believe you can make trades. You can make trades from day one of the season if he's been under contract.
I'll tell you right now.
I was going to say, if he can be traded, I don't think he makes it until the November 15th.
I'll tell you where Ja is right now in his contract. Ja, as of today, he's got 3 more years left on his deal.
And when did he sign?
No team option. He signed it. He signed the extension in 2022.
Yeah, so yeah, he's good. They could trade him tomorrow.
I thought that you couldn't get traded until.
No, I think
I must be getting some bad information.
I think it's just if there was a re-sign, there's the waiting period.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now I don't know if this is a troll super chat. How would he look in Minnesota? Here's the thing. For who? Like, are you putting a backcourt of Ja and Ant?
Yep.
I don't.
I don't hate it, and the reason why I don't hate it because I like how Ja passes.
I hate it.
Why?
Because then that means you're going to have to give up your bigs.
Well, let's be clear about one thing. They're not handing over they're not just coming off a Ja for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack. So if you think that
so you're going to give up what? Gobert?
No, I'm not doing that. No. Mm-mm.
And others, like there's going to be more in that deal. Like I'm not. I'd rather not. If that's I got to give up.
We got to make the money work, but I think that what gets this deal done, Tone? So this kid Dillingham, he's still in his rook deal, so that's not enough.
That's not enough.
Dillingham is not enough. So who else gets this deal done? And I can't see, because I can promise you, more times than not, when stars get traded, you're not getting back what you're giving up. When Shaq got traded, he got traded for Caron Butler, Bryant, Lamar Odom, and Brian Grant. That's what he got traded for. And these 3 guys are not Shaq.
Christy in my TikTok said a third team would have to get it done.
There you go. You might have to get a third team involved. There you go. We got to get a third team involved. Yes, we do.
If it was up to you, there would never be any 2-team deals. Every deal. Every deal would be 3-team deal.
If you're thinking about Minnesota,
I don't think it worked. Not that it wouldn't be fun to watch Ja and Ant play together in the backcourt. I just think for what they'd have to give up to get him, the team wouldn't be good, or as good, and so it doesn't make basketball sense. Entertainment, basketball.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom of that right there, Tone. With Ja, what would we have to get up to get Ja? If I'm Minnesota, you ain't touching my front court. You ain't touching Julius Randle. You're not touching Rudy. You're not touching my front court to get Ja. I'm not giving you a big.
What about
I'm not giving you. No.
Exactly.
No, not for Ja. No. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, I was able to get a deal like what happened with De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio, which you basically had to give up almost nothing. With Ja in Minnesota, is he the difference? Does he push them over the top?
Are they
better than Oklahoma City?
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't think that's realistic. I don't think Minnesota works. But let me ask you this. Is there enough depth in a team that needs a point guard, I believe, to get them over the hump, to get Ja to Houston?
But is there enough depth? I think they have the players to make the deal work, because they just signed Jabari Smith to an extension. DFS is still in that deal. I mean, they just signed him to an extension. The question is, with Ja in Houston, why does Ja make them the NBA champion? What does Ja do? I'm wondering what Ja does for this group to make them the NBA champion. And I know what you're talking about. What it's gonna have to be, it's gonna have to be something like a Min Thompson. Because if I'm Memphis,
yeah, okay, then the conversation's over then.
Okay, because if I'm Memphis,
the conversation's over. So yeah. What is realistic then? Because what we're saying is all the contending teams aren't going to give up a piece for a risk. The only teams that take a risk are teams that aren't there. So yeah. Like I could see my hometown team. I could see the Raptors putting together a package to bring him in to get some star power. I could see a team, obviously, like, you know, the Hornets, the Wizards. Like that's heck, he'd probably go to the Clippers because that's where everybody else goes. make the Buffalo Braves even more star-studded so they can lose. But it's those types of teams, like it's the Wizards, the Hornets. I think the Raptors. Indiana might be an interesting spot.
We
Miami
already
might
got our
be.
point guard. This is a gap year in Indiana. They're
Miami,
gonna short.
Miami might be an interesting spot. Well, yeah, because you have 3 years left. You're right. If you had a shorter term, then maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
With
what about-
Miami, now, hear me out with
Yeah.
Miami. They got one of the fastest paces in the league. I think they're number 1 or number 2 in the league in pace. Ja would be an upgrade from Davion Mitchell, but what I don't like is one of the main reasons why they playing as fast as they playing is because of how much they play defense. And Davion Mitchell is the cornerstone of that in terms of a point of attack defender.
Yeah.
Ja is not that. So I don't know if they're going to be able to play as fast as they play with Ja at the point guard spot. And on top of that, what do we have to give up to get Ja in Miami? Now, what I want to do, Tone, is I know that the money has got to work. I want to look at this from a seller's perspective. What I mean when I say that, Tone, is you as a buyer, I don't really care once I sell it to you. I don't care about that. Like I'm just trying to sell it to you.
100%.
Right? I'm not trying to, well, what about this? What about, listen, this is what I'm offering. Are you interested in it? And once you say yes, then bet. That's why I don't think it's a good time to trade Ja right now. And the reason why is because we got a disgruntled guy. And you probably won't be able to get what you really want for him. Teams see that he's disgruntled, so they're gonna offer you almost nothing for him. It's like your car's broken.
Yeah, but I think in Memphis, for the team, it could be addition by subtraction. I think you get rid of the disgruntled employee, you bring in a player or 2 or 3, let's be honest, that want to be there or want to earn minutes or want to play. And the team, I think, becomes better than having a guy who's like, why'd we lose? Ask the coach. Why would you? Ask the coach. Ask the coach. He clearly doesn't want to be there anymore.
No,
right or wrong, that's the NBA we live in, is that, players have the power to do that. So I think he's gone. I think I brought up Miami for a reason. Your guy, 25, 10, 4 and 2, 10 of 18, 2 of 4 from 3 in 30 minutes. That move to the power forward is about 5 years later than you wanted it. He seems to be enjoying it.
Well, not only that, I'm still not sure what exactly Coach Spo is doing with Khalil Ware, because there's a part of me, I think he played 17 minutes last night, 6 for 8 from the floor. But when he's on the floor, Tone, they're not as effective as they really could be. What I mean when I say that is they play fast. I feel like Khalil Ware isn't a transition big. I feel like he's more of a slower pace big. I think he rebounds, but I think he's one of those guys where not necessarily walking the ball up, but you can't play as fast as you would like to play with him. And I think that's to the Miami Heat's detriment. I want them to play. I think they got the number 2 pace in the league, but he doesn't play that much. When he's off the floor, they play faster. Here's the thing, though, Tone. The fact that Bam is playing the 4, he's stretching the defense, because I watched that Clipper game a couple of nights ago, stretching the defense. In addition to stretching the defense, his mid-range game is looking better. I think I was a year too early when I talked about the all-pro season with Bam. I think I might have been a year too early for that. And I think this might be my year that I'm looking at Bam to be an all-pro and definitely an all-league defender. Definitely an all-league defender, but an all-pro at this juncture. He looks so much more comfortable with them playing fast. He looks so much more comfortable with his mid-range and his jump shot in particular and attacking the basket that he did last year, because I think that they're playing fast. I couldn't understand why, with a team with this good of a defense, why aren't they playing faster? What's the problem with the Miami Heat? And it turns out it was Davion Mitchell now speeding up the offense. That just makes them so much more viable.
You've been saying, I'm struggling with this, because you've been saying, and I disagreed with you. I didn't think Miami, I didn't think it mattered who they got, where they put them. I thought they were just a play-in team this year, and I still could be right. Let's be honest, but I thought Bam was on the move. I thought they were going to move Bam and just kind of blow the whole thing up and start over. You said no, they should stick to their guns. I do have a question. Who's SMT Media, and how did he speak to 4 executives about John Morant?
I don't know.
All right, let us
Yeah.
let us know.
4 executives. Wow.
4 executives he talked to say that they really have no interest in trading for him. One said it was because it's a combo of contract and off the court stuff. So there you go. Now you're more. Oh, sorry. I should probably go ahead.
He is kind of a headache though, Tone, when you think about it. And
is he though?
Well, look at what's going on right now. Look at what's going on right now. Don't ask me. Go talk to the coaching staff.
Is he a headache, or is he just not happy?
Okay, well,
because would you have said he was a headache every other year before?
Yeah, because of the nonsense that was going on with him. Don't think that just because what I'm seeing right now in the press conference, that doesn't absolve him of the nonsense that he was getting into off the court, which he clearly didn't show any remorse when he was in that interview with Jalen. When he was in that interview with Jalen Rose, it was more like, "I'm sorry, I got caught. I'm not sorry about what I did. I'm just sorry that I got caught."
That's everybody.
Now, what? Now we
honest. Everyone that says that that's the truth.
Yeah. I think we're in a space with him now where he has found himself just not wanting to play basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies, because I think that they look at him in a different light than they did years ago. I think that the antics, I think that the off the court stuff, plus with them changing the way that they play basketball, I think that that's now. I think that it's run thin now with Memphis, and I think that
I think you get away with the antics when you're playing well, when the team has, when they're winning, when the team has potential. And to your point, right? They moved on from this person. They moved on from Dylan. They moved on from
Desmond Bain.
So now it's like, so now he's unhappy. The team's not really that good, and it just sometimes, like I said, here's his chance, right, to prove that he's not that guy. So I think they trade him. Once they move him, can he be, change? Because let's not forget. In Chicago, right? I know people are saying he's being worse than Jimmy, but hold on. When Jimmy was in Chicago, he was the problem. He goes to Minnesota. Oh, he's the problem. He goes to Philadelphia. He's the problem. He goes to Miami, and it's like, oh, actually, he wasn't the problem. Right? There's right? There's that narrative changes, and it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't him in Chicago. Like, you look at Minnesota and you're like, yeah, maybe he needed to kick Cat and Wiggins in the butt because they were being lazy. Like,
winning has a tendency to do that, though.
Right?
Winning has the tendency to do that.
100% winning solves most, if not all, problems. So, speaking of winning, what do you think wins more? Offense or defense? Because Draymond thinks that defense wins championships, and Kevin Durant disagrees. And they've been having a little back and forth on Twitter, because where else do you have beef with people that you personally know but on Twitter?
Right.
Offense or defense?
Well, the most important part of the game, you've said this to me countless times, Tone. The team that has the most points at the end of the game wins how many times?
100% of the time.
I mean, there's never been a team that had more points than the other team at the end of the game and lost. That's never happened.
It is the only stat that's absolute. You could be rebounded, you could be out-assisted, you could have less turnovers, you can shoot a lower shooting percentage, field goal percentage, or free throw percent. Literally, you can do every other statistical thing less time of possession. There's nothing that you could have less that would make you lose 100% of the time, with the exception of points. That's the one and only thing.
Now, how do we get those points, though? And a lot of times with the Golden State Warriors, when they were winning those NBA championships, they had one of the best defenses in the league, because at some point as good as you are, Tone, at scoring the basketball, I gotta stop you from scoring. We can't just be. I can't just be a punch drunk boxer where I think I can hit you more than I can stop you from hitting me. No, at some point I gotta stop you from scoring. And I've always
Did they have a top notch defense?
yes, they did. I think the year that they won the NBA
Based
championship.
on what?
Okay, well, one based on Draymond Green being the anchor of that defense. But
Okay.
if we're based, if Clay Thompson being one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, it was based on their scheme. Their scheme was Clay Thompson, who was very much the protector of Steph Curry. He was very versatile. He could switch. He was very switchable. He was a really good on-ball defender. Draymond Green was basically the Lawrence Taylor of this defense. He was the inside linebacker. He called out all the plays. He was the most switchable guy that they had in terms of post or perimeter defenders. Their scheme was keep guys as far away from the basket as possible. Draymond, in addition to Draymond, Kevin Looney, these guys gang rebounded, and they kept their scheme very simple. It wasn't a scheme that was complex. Get around screens, block out, rebound the basketball, convert offensively on transition when we get turnovers. So get in the passing lane, which Steph Curry was fantastic at, getting in the passing lane. So I think that their scheme made them one of the best defenses in the league.
But how do you quantify that?
How do I quantify
Yeah, like
that?
clearly you're saying like I test you, I saw this, I know he's a good defender.
Yep.
How do you
Well,
without like if I was doing this, how would I know they were a good defensive team?
Well, you wouldn't know if you didn't watch, you would not know that they weren't a good defensive team. But statistically, they were one of the best defensive teams in the league. But to your point, to quantify that, I mean, they were in the NBA.
What statistics?
Okay, well, they had I think if I'm not mistaken, in 15, I think they had the best defensive rating in the league in
And how is that
2015.
calculated?
It's calculated by the amount of points that you have at the end of the game, how many stops you generate per 100 possessions, how you rebound the basketball, not just per 100 possessions, but how you rebound the basketball in the meat and potatoes of games per quarter. All of this stuff equals up to what their defensive rating was, how you stop teams in transition. And I think that the Golden State Warriors, if you aren't watching, how you quantify that is they're in the NBA championship every year. They're not in the NBA championship every year just because they score a lot of points, because there were plenty of teams that were scoring a lot of points throughout the course of the 2010s, from the 2010 to 2020. Same thing, same logic between 2000 to 2010. There were plenty of teams that scored a lot of points. How can we stop you, though? And I think that the Golden State Warriors, they showed that when we out-rebound you, when we don't foul nearly as much, when we get in the passing lane and we get steals, which is what Steph Curry led the league in steals in 2015, 2016. I think he led the league in steals that year. So we're clearly doing these things in order to get ourselves to the NBA championship. So that's how you quantify them being one of the better teams in the league. It wasn't empty what it was they were doing.
And why I was building up all of those questions to ask, do you feel their offense had anything to do with the success of their defense?
Yes, because their offense puts so much pressure now on other teams' offense, which caused to speed them up. Now they have to catch up. And when you're playing fast, I mean, Tony, you're a football guy. If Peyton Manning, when he drops back, is 5-step drop back or 3-step drop back, if he's just sitting in the pocket hanging out, he's going to destroy you. You make Peyton Manning move his feet. You speed Peyton Manning up. What's going to ultimately happen? He's going to make mistakes. That's very much what happened with the Golden State Warriors when they're playing defense against teams, because their offense was so good that they would throw you 12, 15 in the hole early. Now you find yourself scrambling to get points. And when you find yourself scrambling to get points, now you're rushing. And the way that the Golden State Warriors played defense, where they had you throwing passes in the passing lane that were unwarranted. They had you playing faster, trying to advance the ball, which they were stealing the basketball. In addition to them doing that, now they got you taking shots that you don't want to take, which now gets them the ball back. And now that's thwarting your offense. So I thought they did a bunch of different things offensively to thwart your offense.
I was going to make a comment, but this came in, so I'm going to pause my comment to read the super chat from Bubba. Blake, we will get to your super chat. Guys in TikTok, I know you're asking some questions. We're gonna get to them, I promise. As many as we can. Have you seen a bad offense win more or a bad defense win more? Over the last 20 years, as you think about it, more top 10 rated offensive teams have won championships than top 10 rated defenses.
I think top 10. I think top 10 offenses because the game is more geared for offense.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't a question. I'm telling you, more top 10 rated offenses had won than top 10 rated defenses. Now that doesn't. Now, in most cases, I will say, in most cases, the team was both a top 10 rated offense and defense. But there's the swaying. So I actually don't think that. Here's my take, because as I mentioned, I think offense is more important. So I'm gonna side with KD, but there's a huge
There's a reason why he thinks offense is more important, ladies and gentlemen. Just so we're clear,
because I can play.
Reason why
that's why. Like, Kim K, Sir Mix-a-Lot. There's a huge big but coming to that, and here's what it is. You have to make timely stops. Your defense doesn't have to be great the whole game, but you have to be able to make stops at the end of quarters, end of halves, and then the last 2 to 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. If you look at, your offense, however, doesn't have to be great, but it does need to be consistent. And you can go on runs. And today's NBA, again, with the 3-point shooting and the pace of the game, you don't have to be great all the time, but you do have to go on runs. Defensively, you need to make stops. And so, we're arguing something that, we always say this: two things can be true at the same time.
Sure.
Two things can be true at the same time, right? There's a reason why, more top 10 offensive have won championships than defenses. But I mean, it's like 1-0. It's like in the last 30 years, 2-1. Like, it's the numbers, because in most cases they got top 10 both, right? And 90% of the time, they're both. So to answer your question, to win a championship, you need both, right? Like, it's not football where you can have a 85 Bears or a 2000 Ravens where it's just like defense and run the ball. Defense, you don't have to pass. No, you have to be good offensively and you have to be good defensively and you have to be great at both to win a championship in today's NBA. It's too competitive. The league is too good. There's 100% talent. That
part I can get with. Well, let me ask you this though, Tone. As a defender, does it matter? Because you just said that I don't have to be great defensively the whole time. I prepare all the time? Can I prepare for you as an offensive team? Can I prepare for these stops more than I can prepare for you being great all the time?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. You can have defensive schemes and lineups where you put in certain, things to say, okay, I need to do this. To do that because you need to make those stops.
As an offensive player and as an offensive team, can I prepare for you? Because I know when you're trying to buckle down, right? I know that in the last 3 minutes of a quarter, I know you're trying to buckle down. In the last 2 minutes of the third, I know that onslaught of defense, I know the traps are coming, I know the blitzes are coming. Can I prepare for that more? Because I'm thinking to myself, but I want you to answer the question. Can I prepare for that more than you can prepare to stop me?
Offense will always beat defense because you can never stop someone completely, whether it's a team or an individual. Is there any defensive player, great defensive player, the greatest defensive player ever, against the greatest offensive player ever? Will he ever shut him out?
Well, you're not going to stop me completely. You can slow me down.
You can slow him down. You can make it difficult, but the offense will always be at an advantage. And in today's NBA, more than any other era, it is the hardest thing to be a defender because the rules are swayed to help the offense.
Right.
They just are. And so that's why I think in today's age, you could, where I say it's, it can go either way. That's why I sway also because I'm an offensive guy. But I feel that the rules make it so that offenses, it's just swayed more because they want more offense because let's be honest, offense is more entertaining.
Oh, 100%. Nobody wants to watch a 75-70 game. Nobody wants to watch an 85-78 game. They don't.
No one wants to see that.
Except the basketball purists. We actually recognize when a team is playing really good defense and slowing down a really good offense.
Listen,
the majority of the people don't want to see that.
I will sit there and watch. This is, Fluent Jr. put us on to Dyson Daniels. I will see him jump a passing lane and tip a ball and it go out of bounds. I'm like, oh, good. I'm like, hey, good hands. Everybody else is like, oh, what a terrible play. I'm like, no, that was a great play. There's no way he should have got a hand on that. And that just it completely screwed up the rhythm of the offense because now the next time they know he can jump that lane, and now that pass is a little bit different, right? I talk about Wemby. I was talking about Wemby to my team, and I was like, because I was talking to my big, and I said, listen, you don't have to block every shot. Stop trying to, because he's a big kid, and he's trying to swing and swat them into the third row, and it's great when he does. But I said, hey, every time you swat that into the third row, they get the ball back. Right, they get the ball back, and I said,
another opportunity.
Wemby might be averaging 5, 6, whatever, 6, 7 for the kids blocks per game, but what he does more than that, and this, is alter someone's shot, right? Because they're worried about getting blocked, so now they change their shot a little bit, or they don't even drive, they kick it out, so they act different. So that's what I'm saying. Those are the things that no casual fan appreciates that. And meanwhile, I'm watching it go, oh, did you see that? Did you see that defender bump that one off his man? And so and that transition defense, how he got back and they had to pull it out again. And everyone's like, no, why? So stupid. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's rude. That's rude. Why is everybody over on Chills? Everybody's on your tick. Like, people come into my comments and are like, hey, Chill has more people listening on his live. Yeah, he's got 10 times more followers than I do. We have a joint bank account, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, next on the agenda, speaking of joint bank accounts, Russ is like on like a vet minimum deal.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want me back. They told me to not pick up. They told me to not pick up my player option. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not wanted. I don't need to. The Nuggets didn't want Russ back after he won them. This is subjective. Nuggets didn't want Russ back after he won them a playoff series. Let me just say this: a joint bank account and a real friend. Yes, my kids call him Unc.
Yeah, that's real going. That's really going on.
Like Uncle Chill. Actually,
I didn't meet Tone I didn't meet Tone a year or two ago. Tone and I have been doing this for quite a while. Tone and I, we go back some years when we first started doing this at 10 o'clock in the morning. Just so you guys know. I
just want to say my beard wasn't gray.
No, he had a ponytail, guy.
I had a ponytail. That's right. I had not a ponytail. It was a man bun.
He had a man bun. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry.
To here, and I always had it up in a man bun.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually funny. One of our first. I'm going to sidestep. I'll go back to Russ in a second because this is actually a funny story. We started one of our first lives. Bill made a comment about, and I got to be honest. I even struggle to call you Chill. J Dub over J. His name's Jermaine. I don't. But Jay said it's not like one of those dudes hanging out in a club with a man bun. And I went like this because I don't think he realized it. I went like this and I showed him, and he's like I don't mean you. It's like one of the first lives we were on. That was all. I was like, this dude, like, I don't think.
Oh man, I do remember that.
Scotty B is fouling the hell out of Giannis. Yeah, well, what else is he supposed to do? He can't defend. Okay, so back to Russ.
Yep,
he played great for the Nuggets last year. I think we were all.
He was great. I thought he was great.
Yeah,
I think one of the biggest problems that we have with Russ, Tone, is Russ, like Jimmy Butler when he was in Miami, the tone was, I'm not for everybody, which is what Jimmy Butler said. And he was right. I'm not for everybody. Russ can be abrasive, but with Russ being abrasive, I have yet to hear in the 17 years that Russ has been in the league, I have yet to hear teammates talk bad about him. He is the consummate teammate. They love this guy. They love everything about him. And I think that that's largely due to Russ being the professional that he is. I might be critical of Russ's game, and some of the things that he does isn't very smart from time to time. But what I will never question about Russ, I will never question how hard Russ goes, how accountable Russ holds himself, how accountable he holds everybody else. Russ is very much in tune with what goes on with his crew and what goes on with himself. And I think that with that Denver team, Russ was the guy who I don't think he was looking for. I don't think he was looking for special treatment, but I do think that there was a standard of the way that you conducted yourself and played that Russ wanted. And if you're not gonna roll this way, if you're not gonna be this way, then we're gonna have an issue. And I think that, Mike Malone I feel like Mike Malone kind of catered to Russ a little bit, and the guys who have been there didn't really appreciate that, which I don't understand why, because he's a vet, and that's what happens when you're a vet. When you're a vet, you get that preferential treatment. Yes, you do, because you've been doing it for so long. So I understand Russ not wanting to be in Denver if you don't want me there. Why am I staying here if you don't want me here? There's no reason for me to be here.
Yeah, I get that. I'm torn. I'm
Mhm.
torn because when a player of Russ's history and accolades and ability and talent, takes a lesser role, comes to your team, everyone tells you it's going to be bad, and he ends up actually being really good and fitting in with the team really well and kind of having a resurgence.
Yep.
And then you treat him like that. I'm like, that's kind of shitty. And then on the other side, I'm like, at the same time, Russ goes to places and does well and puts up numbers and doesn't get it done, like for whatever reason, whether there's injuries like last year, whether there's chemistry issues, whether it's just they're just a better team, like he doesn't get it done. So I'm like, well, do I want to put that money into him? Because I think his player option was bigger than what he's getting at $3 million. Okay, so nothing.
Yeah, it was $3 million. It was the vet minimum. It was $3 million.
So that being said. Yeah,
which is why he said he didn't need it, Tone. Because again, I think Russ is 5th all time in money made in the NBA. I think there's only 4 other guys: Curry, James. I forgot the other 2, maybe KD, but Curry, James, KD, and there's somebody else. So why am I going to Denver for $3 million?
Yeah,
and I'm busting my ass for that little bit of money. They don't even want me there.
You don't want me there. Yeah,
They don't even want me there. So why am I? There's no reason for me to do that. No, and I don't need the money on top of that. I don't.
Let's do a couple of super chats because Blake's been patiently waiting and sent us another one. What do the Suns need to be? What do the Suns need? Hold on. I'm putting in words that aren't there. What do the Suns do to be a serious contender?
Blake, I think that what you're looking for is you're looking for something that's not there right now. And I understand in terms of them being a serious contender, you got to get a franchise player, which you already have in Devin Booker. You already have him as a franchise player. In addition to him being a franchise player, Mark Williams has actually been playing really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm sorry. Mark
not disturb on your phone.
I apologize.
You went live with the phone ringing. Can't you say kind of work here?
I thought I turned this off. I'm sorry. I did. I thought I turned this off.
All right. Well, you're talking about that. I'll tell you this. They need to figure out defensive schemes like they did against Victor Wembanyama. Were you watching that game? That was superb double teaming. I don't know if you noticed what they did. So they had almost like this little triangle built. So whoever was guarding Wemby, and then like Book was on the top, and then whoever was on the wing, like they'd rotate. It didn't matter. But as the double team came from the top, I'm trying to draw this out on my telestrator here with the. So here's the defender on Wemby. There's a guy. The defender came down to double. blocking the pass back to this lane, and this player would shoot up to cover the swing to the wing, and then the person that was down here would shoot back, and they were back in that triangle. And then the second the ball went right back to them, same thing. Top guy went and doubled. This guy shot up to cover the swing to the wing, and I was like, dude, they played it perfect. They played it perfect, and they made Wemby look human. They made the alien look human. And so if they can figure out, because they've got scoring, when you have a book on your team, you're going to have if they can figure out how to slow down teams defensively or take their best player and slow their best player down. Like, I'm not suggesting every 20-point scorer they're going to have scored less than, single digits. But I think if you want them to be a serious contender, without, obviously, the easy answer is trade for trade for that. Defense.
Well, we've seen that movie already with them, Tone. We already seen the trade for this guy, trade for that guy, and
so no, I'm not. Yeah, that's
especially with Phoenix. We've already seen that movie with them. So okay, what else is there? Well, what else is there now? It's just development, right? So you got this young guy in Mark Williams, you got this young guy in Malawach, and I think that you got to develop a scheme and develop a system where these guys can be viable and keep Mark Williams on the floor. I've always been a big Mark Williams fan. I thought that
as
the
long
Knicks
as
made a
he's
mistake.
healthy. Yeah.
Yes, and he has not been. Mark Williams isn't great. Mark Williams is not great in drop. He's not great in terms of a big man defender. But one thing that I do know about him, he will rebound. And I've said this in the past, Tone, which I've never gotten from you, by the way, because, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get this. You guys on TikTok know this. You guys on YouTube know this from me. Every guy everybody that deals with basketball, they have something that drives them crazy. My buddy Roy, for example, and you guys have heard me say this. My buddy Roy, he can't stand small guards that shoot a lot. Drives him nuts. He can't handle it. Tony Parker, Trae Young, those guys. You guys know me. I can't handle big dudes that won't rebound. That makes me nuts. Tone, what in basketball drives you crazy?
Bigs, with very rare exception. Bigs shooting the long ball.
Get off the long ball line, yo. Get off the long ball line.
Joel Embiid standing out on the perimeter shooting threes drove me insane. Drove me insane. I don't even care if he makes them. I'm like, you've got other things that is more that you're responsible for, and you can't do it there.
Yeah,
drove me nuts.
I can't handle bigs that won't rebound, Tone. I can't handle it. Drives me nuts.
So you must have loved Brook Lopez.
Oh my goodness.
He averages at the time. This is a couple of year olds. This is when he was still playing. I believe Brook Lopez and Jason Kidd averaged the same amount of rebounds. 6 points something per game. I'm like, what?
Yes. I'm talking about, so
that's impossible.
The year that they won the NBA championship in 21, Tone, the year that they won the NBA championship in 21 with Giannis on the crew, I think he averaged less than 6 rebounds a game.
I can't. Yeah, but so
I can't handle bigs that don't rebound. I can't handle it, yo.
Ours kind of goes side by side because if he's out there shooting threes, he's not rebounding.
Drives me crazy. It does.
It's like, I'm like, if you're shooting the three, who's getting the rebound?
Yes.
That big men shooting threes drives me nuts. And I get it. Everybody has to be able to shoot threes in today's NBA. I get it. It just drives me nuts. Speaking of driving me nuts, teams to start 7-0 in back-to-back seasons. The 63-65 Celtics, all-time great team.
World champs.
93-95 Rockets.
World champs.
24-26 Thunder.
Tone, I think.
Are they going to repeat? Is this a sign?
I'm not jumping the gun because I'm still in the minority. I don't think I'm gonna see a repeat champion this decade. And I've already absolved myself of I've already gotten off the strength that there's so many different variables that could happen. But I think that because Oklahoma City is so good and they won the NBA championship and their defense was just so stout and how they just basically stifled teams and how they turned that defense into offense, I think because they were so good at that, and now here we are again, starting the season 7-0. It's almost like it's expected. And when it's expected, what ultimately happens is how awesome they all gets thrown by the wayside. Well, you're supposed to be this good. Well, wait a minute. No, we not. There's a reason why we are as good as we are. And you're missing the show. You're 100% missing the show. So I think that because Shea was so good last year, that the fact that he's doing what he's doing this year, well, it's expected. And they don't even have J-Dub in the lineup, by the way, right? They don't even have him in the lineup. So it's one of those situations where they're guilty. They're a victim of, not victim isn't the word I want to use, but they're a prisoner of their own success. That's where I'm at with them.
It's interesting because I think you hit the nail on the head. And let me quickly just say, a bunch of people are putting in the comments things that drive them nuts about basketball players. So I start a couple of them because I want to read them out to you. So if you have something that's like I hate, bigs who shoot, who stand out on the 3-point line. Jay hates bigs that can't rebound. His buddy hates little guards who shoot a lot. He must have loved Fred VanVleet. But back to OKC. We're not appreciating, you're right, we're not appreciating how great they are because it's just expected. Oh, they're the best. They're the champs. They should be out winning these games. They're deep, right? They're a good team. Appreciate them, man, because that does not last for long. Although they did build it the right way. They are built for longevity. They're built with depth. They're built to be good for a long time. I hope we do see a repeat champ. I hope, other than, me wanting my Lakers to win, with that exception, right? Like if they're not going to win, I'd love to see a repeat champ.
I love domination. I'm a huge fan of that.
I'm a huge fan of that. I love dynasties.
Yes.
Everybody loves dynasties.
Yes, sir.
Blake had another one. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to actually say Blake had another one.
Another one.
I'll give you two.
Another one.
Who would the Hornets go and get in a trade to have a playoff push? And what's your opinions on how the Panthers have been playing this season? This is a really Charlotte-oriented question.
Well, number one, I thought the Panthers. I thought Bryce. I was out on Bryce Young. I thought that he's a very average quarterback. But he's actually shown me a lot this season. I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to your wide receivers, but your defense has been a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. As far as Charlotte, who should the Hornets go and get? Okay, here's what the problem is. Instead of going to get somebody, how about LaMelo Ball play more than 36 games a season? How about that? Let's start with that. Your lead guard.
That's unrealistic. They're more likely to trade for Luka.
Yeah,
that's more realistic.
Right. Let's start there. How about your point guard play over the last 3 years more than 36 games a season? You're not winning with your starting lead guard playing 36 games a year. I mean, that's barely a third of the season.
I have an answer. Oh, is that number one? Oh, I'm sorry. That means there's the number two and the number three. Go ahead.
Well, the second part is how about your other lottery picking Brandon Miller? How about he be available? He hasn't been available. So the idea of who you should go and get, how about you got these guys? How about you turn these guys into players? How about that for an idea? That's what I'm thinking. How about you turn these guys into players? You actually already have studs. LaMelo Ball, when he's on the floor, I think he's one of the better lead guards in the game. Brandon Miller, when he's playing with LaMelo Ball, one of the best transition players in the game. Problem is that these guys aren't available. So the idea of who you should go and get and trade for to have a playoff push, how about you got the guys, and how about you have these guys be available? How about that for an idea?
So there's one person and only one person that the Hornets need to go out and get. And for a couple of years, this person was making a pitch to go onto another team, and all the while probably should have been talking to the Hornets. If you want the Hornets to be successful, you want them to make a playoff push, you want them to win a championship in 3 years, you need to get a new GM named me.
Damn.
Forget the New York Knicks. James Dolan, the offer is off the table. Charlotte Hornets, call me up. I'll be your new GM, and I will have you in the NBA final in 3 years.
Damn.
And if you don't do it by 5 years, I give you the same offer I gave James Dolan, which is you get your money back.
Wow. And where would you start, Tone?
Blow it up.
So we got to start all over. Like
Not
LaMelo
one,
Ball gone.
not one person on that roster. And yes, TikTok, I am looking at some of your comments. We will get to some of them, like what we think about Bronny James. We will get to them. Not one person on the roster today will be on the roster tomorrow. Not one.
Damn. So we starting
Because I need to change the culture. It's coaches, trainers, concession stands, towel people, water people, security guards, everybody. Everybody's gone. Everybody. I might even change the damn colors and the logo just
uniform.
to just because it all needs to be gone. Because
move them out of Charlotte.
You know that song? All I do is win, win. All they do is lose, 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 no matter what. Like that, the culture is a bunch of losers, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. The guy who was the owner was only worried about making money, which is weird for the most competitive gambleaholic that anyone's ever seen. He didn't care about it. He cared about making money. Period. Point blank. Period. That being said, speaking of, so that's losing. Speaking of that guy,
since we on that subject,
the Bulls, 30 years since the 72-10 Chicago Bulls started their epic run.
Yep.
Is this still the greatest team ever assembled?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to die on that hill. Yes.
Let's see. 72-10. Here we go. 72-10. 80 played. Oh, this is just Jordan. Played all 82 games. Oh, that's interesting. Scoring leader, all NBA first team, all NBA defensive first team, all-star MVP, regular season MVP, finals MVP. That was a pretty good year for him. Okay, but we're talking about the team. Is that so you think yes, without even hesitation, that the 72-10 Bulls are the greatest team ever assembled? We're gonna get to Bronny James. Relax, Briscoe. Relax, bro. We're gonna talk about Bronny James. It's the greatest team ever. And you're saying yes without hesitation. Tell us why.
If we look at what's going on in today's game, Tone, is 25-26. And in 25, just last year, Tone, if we had a team that we got the best player in the league on this team. We got arguably the best all-around player in the league on this team. We got the best rebounder in the league on this team. We got the best rotation player in the league on this team. We got the second best marksman in the league on this team. And we got the coach of the year on that team. How are we talking about them? If we got that team last year that won the NBA championship, how are we talking about them, Tone?
Greatest team ever.
That was the Bulls in 1995-96. They had Michael Jordan, the best player in the league. They had Scottie Pippen, arguably the best all-around player in the league. They had Dennis Rodman, led the league in rebounding for the 6th straight year at that time. They had Tony Kukoc, best 6th man in the game. They had Steve Kerr, second best marksman in the game. He was second in the league in three-point percentage. And they had Phil Jackson, who was the coach of the year. This is what they had. And they had an innovative offense that nobody else could figure out. The action was just incredible, and it was impeccable, which would explain why they won as much as they did. They had a stretch.
So let's take it a step further. Let's just pause there for a second. Don't go past.
Sure.
Let's build that team. So greatest player in Jordan. So who would be the equivalent? Who's the? I know we don't have a dead set number one, but who's the greatest player in basketball right now?
Who's the best player in the game today? I think it's SGA.
Okay, SGA. Who's the best all-around player right now?
Both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. Giannis.
Okay. Who's the best rebounder in the game? And defender, I guess, like not just rebounder, but
Sabonis is the best rebounder in it. Sabonis or Cat is the best rebound in the game. So okay. I'll go Sabonis.
Okay, Sabonis. Who's the best or second best three-point shooter in the league?
Who's the best marksman in the game? Wow.
It could be just one of the top ones. It doesn't have to be the best one.
Right. Who is the I'm thinking to myself who the best marksman in the league was just last year, Tone. I'm not even thinking about like in years past. Like who was the best like Curry was the best marksman in the game. Anthony Edwards was the second best marksman in the game.
Okay. And who's the best, would you say, like offensive sixth man? Because I want to be fair.
The best rotation player in the game was Nas Reed, and either him or Malik Monk.
Okay, let's go with Monk because
okay.
Because Kukoc wasn't a big.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the best coach in the league right now?
So that crew that you just told me, Eric Spoelstra is coaching them.
Okay, so I got Eric Spoelstra coaching, SGA, Giannis, Sabonis, Malik Monk, and I missed somebody else. And let's not forget, we've got like Ron Harper. So
Anthony Edwards, by the way, Anthony Edwards. Anthony
Edwards. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Anthony Edwards, SGA, Giannis, Sabonis, Monk. Yeah, and let's not forget, you probably have a couple years ago Drew Holiday coming off the bench, or actually starting Ron Harper for his defense. Like you still have other components, and
they steamroll the league, Tone. They're steamrolling the league. They're steamrolling the league. They are what Scottie Pippen.
That's not a super team.
They're what Scottie Pippen said it himself. He said that Jeb Bushler said we're looking at the schedule, and Scotty's looking at the schedule, and he says, "Yo, we're not going to lose a game for like 3 months."
they probably didn't.
They're going to steamroll the league
here or there, but yeah,
mm-hmm.
Like this team was. Let's be clear, because people will say the Warriors had a better record at 73-9. But let me say something that I think everyone needs to be aware of. The playoffs matter.
They 100% do.
And when you add regular season and playoff record, the Bulls had a better record. Oh, and by the way, they won the chip. They didn't choke it away and lose.
That's correct. That is a fact. That is a fact.
I'm with you. I don't think there's a debate. This is the best team ever, period.
I think like I said, I'm thinking about the 2000, 2001 Lakers. I'm thinking about the Bulls in 1995, 96. I'm thinking of 87 Lakers. I mean, the Warriors had one of the biggest collapses in NBA history.
Yeah. Oh, and let me just say for those, people with limited brain capacities who want to bring up competition, because someone will for sure say, oh, the competition was weak. Do you think the competition was weaker when this team was assembled? Like the team had been together. The two best players were on the team since 10 years earlier.
Right.
Or do you think if there was a team that was assembled where they took the best players from three different teams, one a championship contender, one a playoff every single year, and the other one a borderline playoff team, and they took those three teams and made one and eliminated those other two teams, they became lottery teams because, well, you took away their best player.
Yeah.
What becomes an easier competition? Okay, so I'll leave that for you to think about. So I agree 100%. That's the hardest team ever. We are at 10:01, which means time is done. Did I miss anything? Let me see. No, we talked about the Bulls. We talked about this. We talked about that. Okay. Let me give a quick shout out. TikTok, appreciate y'all. Oh yes, sorry. Let's do our shame on me. I'm gonna get fired. Let's do our we gotta finish with our super chats because damn, Mello Williams paid $5 to ask us. Amen.
Yes, sir.
And Ozar Thompson. Athleticism needs to be studied. It's starting to be ridiculous watching them both.
Mel, they're incredible. Especially Amen is the guy that I consistently watch because I mean, to watch this kid, I think he's going to be something special. I do, and he's improving as time goes on. I love that kid. I do.
It absolutely needs to be studied, and here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've had people as athletic as them. Not often. Like every once in a while, right? But rarely are they, their athleticism, but the athleticism doesn't match their basketball skills. Yeah. And I think these two, although not fully there yet, I think these two have the potential to not only be these insane athletes, but to add basketball skill at a super high level too, which makes them super scary. No link today. Oh, I don't know. Do you want to go 5 extra minutes with the link?
We got 5 more minutes. Yeah, we do.
Okay. We'll Well, yeah. Here, let me put the link in, and while I put the link in, I will go through rapid fire the other stuff because. All right, let's talk because everyone's been asking about Bronny James. What are your thoughts on Bronny James, and then I'll give you mine.
If he was in college, he'd be first team All Big Ten, and he'd be a first-round draft pick coming out of school this year. I think that he's improved. I think that he wasn't ready coming out of school, but I think that if he stayed in school, I think that he would have gotten so much better. It's obvious watching him with this Laker team, he's gotten stronger. His feel for the game has got better. I don't like the fact that he doesn't look at the basket as much as I would like him to, but I think that I'm going to have to accept that maybe he isn't a scorer. That's not his game. Maybe he's more of a facilitator and a game manager and a guy who can make some shots. Maybe he isn't the bucket getter that I'd like for him to be, but I do think that he will at some point be a really good defender. So I like what I'm seeing from him. Yes, sir, I do. I like what I'm seeing from him.
So let me quickly tell for those on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see these people that are joining. So if you want to see the discussion where we're pulling people up, it's on Sports Fluent and Chilltown Hoops YouTube. So go check out either one and jump on and you can see these. I'll repeat it so you guys can hear what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what I think of Bronny James. Nothing. Because I would never, ever sit here and talk to you about the 55th pick, late second rounder, who's averaging under a point, under a rebound, under assist, shooting 30% a game. We would never talk about that player. So what I think of him is nothing. Because if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., we wouldn't be talking about him. And so I'm not talking about him because even on my team, he's insignificant. Yeah. That being said, bigs who don't screen drives Davis nuts. Bigs that don't screen. I don't disagree with you at all.
You must hate so you must hate Wemby, you must hate Giannis, you must hate guys like that because those guys don't screen.
I can't stand point guards who can't pass.
That's your job as a league guard. Pass the ball. Get off the damn ball, yo.
100%. Why am I not on PC anymore? Because it's on during the day when I'm working. What do you think of Bronny? Okay, we're going to talk about that. All right. So let's start with Lee, who was the first one up. Lee, what's up?
Hey, guys.
What up, brother? You.
How's it going? I'll be quick today because I've been following you guys since day one. I've been following Chill since OG to Beast on Sports Behavior days.
Woo!
So that's been good. So you guys have been doing great.
Did that start before us?
Yes.
Yeah, that was before he switched over to the panel and watched you guys.
The
content was very good.
That's why made him.
Content was good. I do want to say, I remember Chill saying one time that he felt, even though the 96 team was like amazing, he thought that the 93, I believe, team was more complete. 92. Okay. I just wanted to
the 92 team. Yes.
Oh, it was more complete, right?
Yes. The 92. That 92 team was. I can make an argument that 92 team was better than that 96 team. Jordan was at the top of his game at that point. Scottie Pippen was actually coming into his own. B.J. Armstrong, the immense amount of talent that he had at that point, I think he was a much better athlete than people give him credit for. Horace Grant was an all-league defender moving into the next season. In 93-94, Horace Grant was an all-league defender. I think this team had 9 guys, and they had been together for so long. Remember, because Tone, you had brought up about the different variations of guys coming from teams. Just so you know, Tone, Jordan and Scottie, they're the only 2 guys that was on the first 3P team that wasn't on the second 3P team. That's it.
But you're right. Jordan was there, obviously 84, 85. Pippen and Grant come in 2 years later. They get BJ. Cartwright, I think, was in.
Paxton in 85. They get Paxton in 85.
I feel like they did more with a little bit less than 96. 96, like you said, they had so much, but they did so much with that. All right, I will take one more thing. I got an album. I think I showed Chill before. It was Oh No by Mos Def. And
okay.
I didn't know if Fluent seen this one in a long time.
Yes, sir.
I need to find more hip hop albums to show you guys.
Most definitely Warren G. That's dope. Good to talk to you, Lee Mack. You know what time is, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Up, guys.
Absolutely. What up?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
What up? What's going on, brother?
Guys, big time news, man. 2 1s for Sauce. Y'all kidding?
We did talk about it. Those frauds in Indianapolis.
You think they're frauds, Fluent?
Yeah.
You think they're frauds?
I don't think they are.
Fool's gold. Fool's gold.
Fool's gold.
Fool's
You
gold.
don't trust DJ. You don't trust Danny Dimes in the playoffs.
Danny no dimes. I'll never trust him until he proves me wrong. That's who he is. He's Danny no dimes, right? Until Butter proved me wrong, he was Butter.
Butter. He's he's talking about Baker Mayfield, by the way. That's what he called. He called him Butter. Yeah.
Okay. Fluent, I got a question for you about your Lakers. Do you think that you're at a point now where you guys can afford to like trade away LeBron? Like, do you think you're at a point now where like we have the foundation now to like we don't need Bron no more?
Hold on one second. So the question is, are the Lakers at a point where they can trade LeBron? Can you just say something really quick, Jay, so I can hear it? Can the
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yes,
Mic check.
No, I want to see that the TikTok people can hear Jay, not you. Sorry, I meant Jay Fernandez.
Yeah. Can you? Hello.
Okay, TikTok, give me a thumbs up if you can hear him now. So I kind of
Yes, sir.
muted a little bit here so they can hear you. Oh, you left TikTok? Peace out, TikTok. From
The battery died, Tone.
battery died. Oh, good. All right. Oh, there you go. We only got 2 minutes left in the show. You're stuck with me alone. That being said, 100%. This team right now is winning games with their youth. Did you know that? Am I wrong? Can you fact check me? Someone told me today that Luka is younger than Austin Reeves. That can't be right.
No, Austin Reeves is 25. I think Luka is 26.
Okay, that's what I thought. There's no way that was true. Okay, either way, 25, 26. Yeah, 100%. I think it's I think it's time for everybody to move on from LeBron and the Lakers. He came in and did what he was supposed to do. He came in, gave the franchise.
It's younger than him.
He is.
Austin Reeves is 20. Austin Reeves is 27. He just turned 27 in May.
Damn,
that's correct.
There you go.
26. That's correct.
Okay, there you go.
I thought Austin Reeves was 25 years old, but he played a bunch of years in college too, so I forgot about that.
So there you go. So Austin Reeves is older than Luka. So Luka and Austin Reeves play best when they have the ball in their hand. To add in a third player that does the same thing doesn't make sense. So again, this is not a knock. This is, don't say I'm a LeBron hater, blah blah. No, I just think it's time that. Sorry, let me give him credit. He came in to a franchise that hadn't won anything in forever. Right? We sucked. He came in. Then the next year they bring in AD. They win a championship. The team sells for $10 billion. He did everything he was needed to do in LA. He's had a great career in LA. He's good. Let him move on. Bring in keep the young resurgence, because it's just holding him back. It's holding the team back, because at some point he's going to retire. So honestly, I know you hate this idea. Let him go back, I think, to Cleveland, and whatever days left that he has, just play them out in Cleveland.
Tone is being nice and being politically correct.
Be that vet guy in Cleveland.
So what does Fluent mean if he's being nice and politically correct? Like, what am I not seeing?
The Lakers are out of the LeBron James business. It's over. We had a great run. They out of the LeBron James business. Yes, they are. They're done.
LeBron phase is over.
If they were still in it, they would have signed him to an extension.
Exactly.
They're out of the LeBron James business. They're out.
So can we expect by trade deadline to LeBron James has been traded to whatever team?
I don't know if they're going to trade him. He has a no trade clause in his contract.
No, I think this season ends and he's a free agent, right? So he can go sign wherever he wants.
Mm-hmm. He moves on after the season.
And
I'll be surprised if he still plays, but I think they're out of the LeBron James business. I do.
You think he retires this season or he goes back home?
I wouldn't be surprised if he hung him up.
I think he plays next year in Cleveland as his farewell tour, and they build a nice huge statue outside in Cleveland for him, and retires numbers. Yeah, I'm happy for him. I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I would love that.
That's no hate. That's no joke. Like, people are saying I was hating on Bronny. I wasn't hating on Bronny. I was being honest. He's a 55th pick who doesn't score. He's like, it's not even a triple single. It's a triple decimal point. Like, it's not. It's just, we don't talk
I
about.
haven't caught up with Bronny. What happened with him?
No,
Nothing.
people are just asking because he's playing better, which he is. But like, we would never have a conversation about that any other player with a different name. So that's what I think about him. I think nothing. Like the same thing I would think about any other player who plays the way he plays. I'd be like, it doesn't count. But let's stick to LeBron. Like I said, did everything he needed to do for the Lakers, and the Lakers should thank him because, like I said, he made them relevant again, which they weren't basically the last few years of Kobe right through until he came. You know, we were, and now we have the next phase. We have Luka now, right? So now it's, listen, one of the top 5 players in the game. That's why they made
you had to deal with.
Yeah, so we're going to build off Luka, who's younger than Austin Reeves, apparently. So
8 months, Tone. Give me a break. Like that makes me nuts when people say stuff like that.
My daughter is 1 minute older than my son, and she will never let him forget it.
Give me a break.
So it's really over. That's crazy.
It's over. Yeah, LeBron's over in LA.
Yep. Good to talk to you, Jay.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, brother.
Oh man, I believe they say that was another dope one.
Absolutely.
That's what the old people say. I don't think any of the young people say that. So I don't know. I kind of like what we did. Maybe we do we try it again next week. We do a little TikTok, YouTube collabo. You know, you got to be smart like me and keep your phone charger in.
I kind of forgot about this, and like when you hit me with it, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not."
Well, did you see my camera angle? It's up coming through my mic, so I need to. I'll have a better. This was a last minute idea, by the way. For those,
I'll just have my equipment more charged when.
I'll be ready. I have like a bunch of stands and places and things to use, but that being said,
y'all know where to find us at every Tuesday night. Me and my man Tony, we do it right here on the Chilltown Hoops and Sports Fluent Network, right here, 8 o'clock Eastern. You know where to find us. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. We'll talk to you guys soon, but until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. This was dope.
Just for the record, go bother this dude Mazzy, who said he was going to come and cook me and was chicken shit and didn't come. And also to this dude Ramonchi de Jesus, who also is a chicken, who did not show up. They're both on X. You can go make fun of them. Until next week, we out.
Fluent and chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend gets away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.